I honestly think the moment Ashley looked at Grayson standing at her door with those flowers in his hands, everything shattered again. Not slowly, not dramatically in that polished soap opera way. I mean, violently. Emotionally. Like grief suddenly found a target and refused to let go. Because that's the thing nobody talks about when someone dies unexpectedly. People don't just cry. They search for someone to blame. And Grayson walked right into that storm without realizing Ashley was drowning far deeper than before. The scene already hurts before anyone even says a word. Ashley is devastated over Derek's death, and I could feel how unstable she was emotionally the second Grayson showed up. He probably thought bringing flowers would help. Maybe he believed this was the moment he could comfort her, maybe even reconnect after everything involving plasma. But grief does not care about timing. It doesn't care about apologies either. Ashley sees him, and instantly all the anger she tried to suppress explodes right in his face. And honestly, I understood her. Not because Grayson directly caused Derek's death. I don't think it's that simple. But Ashley has been carrying too much emotional damage already. The lies, the danger, plasma, Ren, Leah, the constant feeling that chaos follows Grayson everywhere. Derek's death was just the final emotional collapse waiting to happen. So when she blames Grayson, I don't even think she's speaking logically anymore. She's speaking from pain. Raw pain. The kind that makes people cruel, even when they don't mean to be. And Grayson, he just stands there taking it. That part got to me more than I expected. Because I think he knows Ashley has every right to hate him in that moment. He doesn't defend himself aggressively. He doesn't lash back. If anything, I think the guilt inside him is already unbearable. This is a man who entered the plasma nightmare thinking he could survive it, control it, maybe even protect the people he loved from it. But instead, every single person around him keeps getting hurt. That's why this storyline suddenly feels heavier now. Before Derek died, Ashley had actually started forgiving Grayson. That matters. People forget that. She was slowly accepting his explanations about the lies and the things he was forced to do. There was progress there. Fragile progress, yes, but still real. And now, one death destroyed all of it in seconds. That's tragic because I genuinely think Ashley and Grayson fit together in a way this show rarely gets right. Their chemistry never felt fake to me. Their connection felt messy, emotional, dangerous sometimes, but real. And maybe that's why this hurts so much now. You can see two people who actually care about each other being ripped apart by something larger than both of them. Then Jan enters this emotional disaster, and suddenly the entire energy changes again. I've been waiting for Jan and Grayson to meet because I knew this wouldn't be a simple conversation. This is a mother sitting across from the man connected to all the dangers surrounding her daughter, and yet I don't think Jan approaches him with pure hatred. There's caution there, suspicion too, but also curiosity. Grayson finally explaining everything about plasma to Jan was such an important moment because for the first time, somebody from Ashley's family is hearing the full nightmare directly from him. Not rumors, not assumptions, him. And honestly, I think Jan saw something in Grayson that Ashley could no longer see through her grief. Fear. Not selfish fear. Fear for Ashley. When Grayson explains how Leah forced him into this situation because of his mother, I actually think Jan begins sympathizing with him a little. Not completely, but enough to understand that he isn't some cold manipulator enjoying the chaos. He's trapped. That's the word I kept thinking about during this entire interaction. Trapped. Still, Jan is a mother before anything else. And mothers notice danger before everyone else does. That's why I don't think Jan can fully support this relationship right now, even if part of her wants Ashley to be happy. She sees the pattern clearly. Everywhere Grayson goes, danger follows. Even if none of it is truly his fault, the consequences remain the same. People are terrified. People are dying. Ashley is emotionally falling apart. So when Jan shows anger toward Grayson, I actually appreciated it because it felt human. Realistically, what mother would calmly accept this situation? Especially when the stalker, the violence, and Ren are all still out there somewhere waiting to strike again. And that's the scariest part of this whole story to me. Derek's death is not the end of the danger. It's only proof that the danger is real. The person stabbing people is still free. Ren is still obsessed with revenge. And Ren already made it clear Ashley could become a target specifically because of Grayson. That changes everything. Suddenly, this relationship isn't just emotionally complicated anymore. It's life-threatening. That's why I actually think Grayson leaving the house after talking with Jan was the smartest thing he's done in a long time. Painful, yes, but necessary. Ashley was too angry, too unstable emotionally to even look at him. Staying longer would only make things worse. And the timing of Andre and Danny arriving afterward almost felt symbolic to me. Like Grayson understands Ashley needs family right now, not him. He's beginning to realize his presence itself creates emotional chaos. And honestly, I think that realization is destroying him internally. Because Grayson doesn't strike me as someone who wants to run away from Ashley. Quite the opposite. I think he desperately wants to protect her, comfort her, be beside her through Derek's death. But how can he do that when his entire world keeps pulling her into danger? That's the cruel irony here. The more Grayson loves Ashley, the more dangerous her life becomes. I keep thinking about Jan's fear because I really don't believe she's overreacting. Everything she worries about is completely justified. This isn't just about bad choices or relationship drama anymore. Plasma has infected every part of these characters' lives. It's become this poisonous force, ruining futures, destroying trust, creating violence everywhere it touches. And Grayson knows it. That's why I actually felt terrible when he seemed to blame himself for all of this, because in his mind, entering the plasma circle started the chain reaction that destroyed everything. Derek's death, Ashley's grief, Ren's threats, the fear consuming everyone. Even if Grayson didn't directly cause every tragedy, he still carries the emotional responsibility for bringing this darkness closer to the people he loves. That kind of guilt changes a person permanently. Still, and maybe this is me being stubborn emotionally, I don't think Ashley and Grayson are over. I just don't. Right now, Ashley cannot separate her grief from her anger. That's impossible. Derek's death is too fresh, too brutal. She needs space to collapse emotionally without Grayson standing there reminding her of plasma and danger and lies. But grief changes over time. Anger changes too. And underneath all this pain, I still believe Ashley remembers who Grayson really is. Not the lies, not the chaos, him. That's why I think Grayson staying away from Ashley temporarily is actually an act of love. He understands the threat isn't gone. Ren could still return. The stabber is still out there. Ashley is vulnerable emotionally and physically. Pushing himself into her life right now would be selfish. So instead, he leaves quietly, painfully, probably feeling more alone than ever. And somehow that hurts more than if they screamed at each other again. Because sometimes distance is sadder than conflict. What really needs to happen now is simple. Even though the situation itself is horribly complicated, Leah needs to finally reveal what she knows. At this point, I genuinely think she may hold the key to identifying the stabber. If she tells Jacob the truth, maybe finally this nightmare can start ending. Because until the stabber is caught, nobody is safe. Not Ashley. Not Grayson. Not anyone connected to Plasma. That's why this storyline works for me emotionally despite all the chaos. Beneath the mystery and danger, it's really about people trying to love each other while destruction keeps surrounding them from every direction. And honestly, that feels more tragic than any death scene. Ashley wants peace, but grief controls her. Grayson wants love, but danger follows him. Jan wants to protect her daughter, but cannot fully stop what's coming. And somewhere in the middle of all this pain, there's still this tiny possibility that Ashley and Grayson might eventually find their way back to each other once the darkness finally ends. If the darkness ever ends at all.